This is the world's biggest cat village. It has over hundreds of cats and almost no humans, which sounds like a paradise. And I'll be trying to pet all the cats I see before the final train leaves. My journey begins with waking up super early and rushing to the train because only a few would take you to the cat village each day. But as soon as I arrived, I was greeted by this hallway filled with decorations of cats and even a side warning that the cats might scratch you, which I'm sure would never happen to me later in this video. On the way to the cat village, I noticed many cat foods left by the local volunteers for the cat, and that's where I found my first victim. I mean, a lovely stray cat. I petted her right away, and that's one cat down, and who knows how many hundreds of them left. But the next one came quickly because this Tuxedo Cat was basically waiting for me to pet him. Do you think he's cute? Tell us in the comments. The same goes for this orange cat, and at first he was a little hesitant, but sneak attack did the trick. I think he's just surprised to see humans. And up next, I must have hit the jackpot because I found a bunch of kittens sleeping under a statue of a cat, but at first they wouldn't let me pet them, probably because it was super windy and cold, so they didn't want to move. But then a couple of nice volunteers came to give them some food. I took the opportunity and petted them on their head, but that's when I realized just how many cats there were, because now they all came out for lunch, and some of them were huge. Like, you wouldn't believe how stray cats can grow out to be this big and healthy. But I can't help but wonder why they're an old village full of cats to begin with. Turns out it used to be a small mining town more than 100 years ago. During the golden age, the town produced so much coal every year that many people moved here for jobs. However, as the coal mining business began to decline in the 90s, the younger generation decided to move away for other opportunities, which eventually led to only a few remaining households living here. Then all of a sudden, a bunch of stray cats show up. So the locals and some volunteers started feeding them and giving them proper care, turning this place into a tourist attraction. They also set up this spay and neuter center, and I believe most cats you see have already been through there, just to make sure the number of stray cats doesn't grow out of control. They even added shelves on the wall, so after they recover from the surgery, the cats could easily move around. But that's when my first challenge came, because I was suddenly stopped by those yellow tapes telling me not to go in, and some kittens decided it was a good idea to hide from me over there. I'll deal with you later. No cat is safe from me. But soon after that, I petted so many cats I simply stopped counting. I might have even petted the same cat multiple times, but there are just too many of them to keep track. But that's when this really friendly cat show up. She must have heard about my mission to pet all the cats, so after showing her my epic petting skill, she totally loved it, by the way. She called over her friend just to be petted by me. And hey, who would want to miss this opportunity to pet two cats at the same time? I probably spent the next hour here petting them. And the first cat fell asleep later, so I could focus on petting her friend. But I still needed to pet all the cats, so even though it pays me to leave them, I had to. All that was left were a few cats that only bothered to show up now, and they soon fell into my evil clutches. I meet my cat-loving kind soul, especially this orange cat gentleman who simply wouldn't leave me after I gave him a belly rub, though he asked for more, and I probably got trapped here for another hour or so by his cuteness. Do you want to rub his belly too? Tell us in the comments. It was at this time I noticed the time was getting late, and sorry making my way back to the train station, but the cats wouldn't let me leave. I may just look at these two arguing over who should be petted by me first. This orange cat was sitting there all by herself with no friends, so I couldn't resist not giving her some petting and a nice belly rub. She did try to fight me due to my terrible belly rubbing skill, which I also agree, and promised to give her a better belly rub next time we meet. And on my way back, I stumbled upon a tiny park where it looked like all the remaining cats were here taking a nap, so I decided to pet all of them, including this handsome black cat. And if you're wondering how I'm able to tell their genders, usually after they're spay or neuter, the people will add a marking on their ears to specify the gender of the cat, so when they need emergency help, the animal vets would know how to better treat them. But eventually, the most memorable moment of the trip happened when I find this cat with closed eyes. I thought he was either taking a nap or the sun was too bright for him, but turns out he's a blind cat, and I'm thankful that the people and the animal volunteers here can give him a home. He gets some petting, and if one day you come to the cat village, I hope you will pet him too. I'll totally come back again because this place is literally the cat lover's heaven. But train station had a little cabin next to it. It was guarded by this cat at the door. Perhaps I needed her permission to board the train, so I gave her the nicest massage ever, and now I may enter the train. So did I successfully pet all the cats I saw in the cat village? Well, technically all the cats except for this one cat who decided to do yoga on the rooftop. I couldn't find a way to get to her, so I guess she was the smartest cat after all. But in this video, I took my 16-year-old cat to the beach, and it turned out to be the craziest disaster, and you can click on the video right now to find out what happened.